This is Kerry with the October 2022 Astrological forecast. The Sun will spend October 1st through the 16th in Virgo and then move to Libra on October 16th through the 31st. Virgo is a down-to-earth practical territory where we analyze, diagnose, recalibrate, and remedy how to manage ourselves. From mid-September, you may have been thrust into this mode, but in an unplanned way that created the need to quickly adjust. The first couple of weeks of October could see implementation and forward progress after a messy or hurried beginning. Watch for deep lessons about expectations in relationships. When the Sun moves to Libra, after the observation and analysis in the relationship realm while in Virgo, we may be faced with creating solutions around the limitations and shortfalls that have been revealed. The month between mid-October and mid-November could be peppered with obstacles and pressures that are pushing us toward a deep transformation that frees us to move beyond what was formerly holding us back. The balance between compromise and self-care could be challenging. For the moon, October starts with a waning moon, which can reflect in an increased emotional sensitivity. There is a full moon in Pisces, October 9th, that can light up your patterns and guide you to learn your lessons. Zoom out to have more perspective about how to mentally integrate the new pathways your life may be taking. As with many new ventures, we may realize that some cleanup of old projects stands in the way of a clear path. The middle part of October sees the moon waning, and as that nightly light becomes less and less, we may feel our minds and bodies reflecting that drain. The new moon in Libra, October 25th, also brings a partial solar eclipse. This is the sun and moon, our two brightest objects in the sky, having some shade thrown on them for just a moment. This momentary instability or loss of vision will pass. Rather than panicking because you suddenly can't see the way forward, be ready to take a pause and feel the depth of darkness and stillness, even in the midst of turmoil. For Mars, in September, Mars, our power manager, could have shown us where our upcoming work is to be. As October moves along, we may be under the illusion that we've laid the groundwork, made a strategy, connected the proper entities, and are ready to move forward, full steam ahead. We may get more information about that plan mid-month. Mars moves to Gemini, October 15th, implementing his strategy, gathering materials, and pivoting when needed. During the second half of October, things could be moving right along, but then there's that eclipse on October 25th, and just after that, as October winds down, Mars does too, beginning a retrograde phase on October 30th. This could be beyond frustrating, but please be forewarned and forearmed. We are getting a chance for some deep repair work, life-altering changes that will reverberate into our future. In the moment, the despair of returning to square one may be intense. Do not waste your fire on despair. Instead, keep a keen eye on the prize and on the resources that fall from the wagon as it turns about. Revisiting, repairing, rebuilding, restructuring, that's what we get once Mars gets into retrograde phase at the end of October. As the other planets resume direct motion, structuring our vision for the future, Mars digs in for the real groundbreaking work through mid-January. For Mercury, Mercury's influence affects our communications, transactions, and expression of intelligence. We may feel a bit more settled in these realms after the first week in October, due to Mercury resuming direct motion on October 2nd. For the bulk of October, we have a very powerful, quick, and smart Mercury to help propel us forward. This is a good month to organize, engage, and network. The retrograde period of September may have dug up some issues that need work. Forward motion of a skillful Mercury through Virgo will help bring theory into practice. Maximize the readiness of Mercury to get things going while he skips through Virgo. When Mercury moves to Libra on October 26th, he enters into the eclipse axis, which can be a signal for obstacles to come. Solve the puzzles or avoid the barricades way before you encounter them. For Jupiter. Jupiter transits Pisces from April of 2022 through April of 2023, which is generally positive, but not for everyone and not all the time. For instance, right now, Jupiter is retrograde through November 23rd, the day before American Thanksgiving. This feels somewhat like being pulled back to 6 months ago, when big, positive, growth-oriented seeds may have been planted in hopes of a bountiful, easy harvest that hasn't actually yielded. Use this opportunity for course correction and wise maximization of loss or expense. We may be starkly reminded of the sometimes painful but essential loss and decay that eventually fuels our growth. The lesson that loss leads to liberation is strongly scrolling across our universal field. Now is the time to thoughtfully clear our space of that which binds us to the past, which may be retarding our growth or preventing the next chapter from truly beginning. For Venus. Venus reflects our human striving to connect, unite, and interact. At the moment, the two signs that Venus manages are occupied by fiery masculine forces, which may be challenging to maintain harmony and collaboration in relationships, contracts, and business deals. Venus moves from Virgo to Libra on October 18th, which generally signals a good time for Venus stuff like creativity, love, politics, and friendship. There may be a bit of a hitch delivering the goods this time due to that shadowy eclipse of energy of Ketu, also occupying Libra, paired with the heavy pressure of Saturn, also affecting Libra and Venus. This creates a painful situation where our true nature emerges when the self is confronted with obstruction, suffering, or loss. The revelation of truth can become a springboard or a breaking point, depending on circumstances. Either way, this could be a dramatic time when it comes to reckoning the value of our alliances. It is a challenging time for testing the integrity of our relationships, creative output, and business ventures. Listen to your gut and run the numbers too. Both sets of data will be instructive as we brainstorm our way through October. November 10th sees Venus gliding to Scorpio, so expect some bumpy terrain from October 18th through November 10th. For Saturn, as the outermost planet that we can see with our naked eye, Saturn's department is keeping the time framework steady and ensuring that all of our karma that we are doing is accounted for. Since Saturn plays a long game, let's remember that he gave us a preview of how things may be for a couple years when he changes signs in January of 2023. This preview was April 29th through July 12th of 2022, so remember back to what was going on then, as that may point to near future situations. The past few months have seen Saturn's appearance slipping back into the stars of Capricorn, returning us to the lessons of 2020 and 2021, forcing us to finish business and regaining a practical understanding of what is currently going on. Saturn will resume direct motion on October 22nd. Then change direction and head into Aquarius on January 16th, 2023. Saturn moving forward could also signal a collective shift that affects individuals differently. For some, deliberate forward progress may become possible after some major setbacks. For others, some moving parts may slow down while others may need to speed up. The summer months may have revealed the cruel truth, while autumn will be the time to restructure based on new data. For Rahu transits the fiery environment of Aries from April of 2022 through October of 2023, which creates a dynamic connection to that which we truly desire and boosts our courage to actually go for it. Rahu is associated with humanity in general, fame, desire, instability, and innovation. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius signs all will be affected by this wild Rahu effect during this time frame. This volatile energy is powerful but must be handled with care. Beware of compulsive decisions, selfish motivations, and get-rich-quick schemes. Rahu and Ketu are associated with eclipses, which we experience in pairs about twice per year. Our second eclipse pairing of 2022 comes with a partial solar eclipse on October 25th and a total lunar eclipse on November 7th. With astrology being a light-guided pursuit, it is informative to also listen to what the darkness and shadows tell. The November 7th lunar eclipse is where Rahu's contrast capability will really throw some shadows as Rahu and Moon oppose Ketu and Sun. What Rahu can show us from the October 25th partial eclipse is what we really want. Dramatic situations will bring out the true nature and desires. Discovering this truth in the midst of a moment of darkness could lead to turning that truth into an inextinguishable guiding light. For Ketu transits Libra from April 2022 through October 2023, inviting us to rebalance our relationships, hone our intuition, and find our spiritual friends, including activities that are designed to unite rather than divide. Tenacious Saturn continues to help Ketu obstruct strongly in the sign Libra, and things could become more complicated as the Sun, Venus, and Mercury enter the scene starting in mid-October. In order to ascend past the material obstacles that Ketu can manifest, we are charged with finding the spiritual thread that eventually lifts us beyond the suffering of the world. The wisdom Ketu offers when we regard our limitations as spiritual invitations helps us to fully experience the fruits of life with detachment that protects us from becoming mired in that which we cannot control. On October 25th, at the partial solar eclipse, new moon in Libra, we will lose some of the light, but get to see briefly Ketu as the shadow of the moon obscures the light of the sun. Sit with your body and meditate on how your mind may be obstructing your attempts to authentically connect with others. Have a great month. We'll be back in November.